Lewis gather handball, smothered by Grigg. Bruce told, ball up, Brown. The person who really wants the numbers, they probably don't understand what depth we actually get into for clubs and what data we have available that they never get to see. 18 players on the field for each team at all times. Everyone can do anything, the ball can go anywhere. So it's a very dynamic game to analyse. Thank you. The quantity of data is far greater in AFL than any other sport. A lot of it is nerve-wracking if it's a really big game. The coaches make bad decisions based off bad data, so it's just making sure that everything's right.
2013 says Sunday football is ready to roll here at the MCG. It's Hawthorn, the red-hot favourites, against the Tigers.
I work for Hawthorn Football Club in the AFL as well as for my own consultancy ranking software. Over time, the demands for detailed descriptions of the data have really grown in the coaching community and certainly in the media.
Stand back and applaud.
Data cuts across all sorts of media. The coaches talk about it in the press conference. The radio commentators refer to the stats the whole way through the broadcast, as do the TV commentators, as do the fans and the fantasy fans as well.
I love fantasy and trying to predict the next best of players. A lot of people I play with say I have an unfair advantage because I watch 7 games a week, watch the TAC Cup, so picking all the best kids, and we love playing fantasy as much as anyone.
This is my spreadsheet, or at least the first page of it, with the top 50 odd players on it. I manipulated the spreadsheet based on gut feel, injuries, especially what position they're playing.
Yeah, I go through a spreadsheet. I have a little pre-season one, which I do the pre-season stats for.
I thought it was all up here, mate.
Yeah, it is.
That's what he says. He just goes, oh, it's all up here. I don't know. What do I need that for? Right.
The anticipation builds as the game gets closer, which is a great experience. Guys. A little bit of nerves, I know there's a few players out there that are new, especially for Richmond and for Hawthorn, so I just want to make sure I get those right. Keeping up with the play, making sure, especially when you're working the binos and not missing anything, can be really hard. Segler hit out. Miles, hard, kick playing a clearance, kick long rebound, contest. Martin, Crum hard, handball, Griffith. So you've got the main caller, which is the person who watches the game live at the ground with the binoculars and calls the main stats. Hampson hit out, Sharks, Cirioli, hard handball. Sitting next to them is their support and the IT person, so they help out the media and listen to the umpires. Matchups behind them, they at all times will figure out who's playing on who, where everyone's playing. And then we've got an interchange operator as well. We record who's on and who's off. We all have almost perfect AFL player ID, so we all know exactly who everyone is in the AFL. Hampson and Segler. Brand kick backwards, Stratton mark, play on. Crum hard handball, Camelin. Brewst receive handball, tackle by Rance. Rioli, Cyril, McAvoy. Floston tackle, Segler, Lewis, Mitchell, Giopolo, Hodge. Drummond, Crum loose. There we go. Goal, go play snap, 2. 15:30. This is the engine room really of champion data. This is where we capture every stat, every action that happens in football around the country. In the bunker, we have 5 roles. Back caller, and that's the person who listens to the ground caller's call and just double checks everything they say. All the basic stats go in through the keyboarder. They probably put in over 5,000 stats a game. Then on the end is the graphical operator. So for every possession, we plot exactly where it happens on the ground. And then the other 2 roles on the end are the pressure capture and the pressure caller. All the basic stats, they take it to the next level. So that's your pressure on disposals, where people are trying to kick with, what foot they're trying to kick to.
Teams started winning games by pressuring the opposition, and we didn't have a measure for pressure, and the clubs asked us, how do we measure pressure? So we've come up with pressure acts, which are recorded live through the game.
So that gives an extra layer of the data that the basic stuff couldn't do. So that was really driven by the clubs to step us up to the next level, and we do a lot of reporting based around the enhanced data.
Over time, we develop more and more simple displays of the data that use the technology in a smarter way and just highlight the things in front of the coach that he should be looking at right now. There's a lot of power for the user to set up a view that reflects what they want and the coaches want.
I really enjoy watching a game of football. Obviously, I've got the numbers there. You're talking with someone about the game and you might mention what a great game this player played, and it's always in reference to the stats.
The way fantasy sports has used statistics and particularly driven the recognition of players and styles of their play has been a terrific thing.
As a footy fan, when a bloke shepherds or taps a ball on or is a defender punching the ball away constantly all game, and you walk away from the footy and you go, gee, that guy played a blinder, but then it's not represented in his fantasy score. They are trying to incorporate all of those little things into it. The more of that stuff that they can fit in, the more accurate representation the numbers are of the actual ability of the player.
We've already come a long way, but in terms of the future, we have access to every single player's tracking data live throughout the match, as well as all their kicks, marks and handballs. So if you pop that into a visualisation through virtual reality, you can actually pick you want to be Cyril Rioli today or Sam Mitchell, and you can actually watch the game from their point of view.
Every action that the player has with the ball or with the player that's holding the ball being monitored, dissected, graded for quality. You want to know exactly where they are at all times, where the ball is, and from that you can build up a picture of which patterns of play are more effective or less effective.
It's been a thumping win for the Hawks.
Byron, kick short. Goal, end quarter, end match.
You actually feel like you know more than someone who just goes along to a game and just sits there and watches it and enjoys it, you know. The fact that you've got the stats at your fingertips as well, you do feel empowered with that knowledge.
There's going to be an explosion of insight from what have previously been amateurs, or maybe in their day job they're accountants, or they are data scientists, or just enthusiasts who've grown up with the numbers.
So you don't remember not having
Well,
technology?
that would be my point.
Yeah.
My point is that I only got into it because of the stats, you know, that was the connection for me. The data, because it is so readily available, it allows you to become that coach or that statistician.
It gives you a far greater interest in games that you wouldn't normally watch, but now you just get so much more information, you've just got so much more access.
The competition is great, the social aspect is great.
What do we have? Maybe 10 people in the first year or something like that, and now it's grown to 16.
Connecting just on the sport at that next level, I guess, makes it really interesting, and yeah, it's fun.
The depth that championship data actually goes into isn't often publicised in the media. We capture everything, and if you know how our numbers work and you know the right questions to ask, you can answer any questions. It's just the amount that we have and the accuracy of it is what excites me.